I I thought I'd come and make this quick video. I said I was going to make one about my DNA test with Ancestry.com. I talked about it a little bit in the last video, but I'm going to get a little more details about it. I have 25% Ivory Coast, 18% Cameroon and Congo, 17% Nigerian, 16% Senegal, 12% Benin and Togo. And then they do the smaller percentages, they call it trace DNA. So in the trace DNA, I'm 6% Great Britain, 1% West European, 1% Bantu, 1% Mali, and I don't understand this. It says 1% African South Central hunter and gatherers, when 1% Scotland and Wales, and then less than 1% Scandinavia. But from me doing this DNA with Ancestry, I got in contact with my half brother that I hadn't seen since 1973. My father, just out of the blue, see, my mother died in 71. So just out of the blue in 1973, my father pulls out this little kid. He was about 11 years old. So this is your brother. And he was just the cutest little thing. And my ex-husband and I took him on a trip that we were going. We were going to Phoenix, Arizona for a church convocation. We went to church quite a bit back then. So we took him with us, and he remembers this trip in details. But I would say about 10 years ago, well, I thought about my half-brother off and on the whole time he was gone. I don't know what happened, what caused him to just disappear like that. My father died in 1983, and we didn't know how to get in touch with him then. But he told me that his mother knew about my father dying in 1983. So somebody was in touch with her mother and him. But he wasn't in touch with us. But anyway, his son has the same name. He's a junior. And on the Ancestry DNA, it said that this person, I'm not going to say his name, this person was most likely, it was high, I can't think, but it's really believed that, high possibility is what I'm trying to say. It was a high possibility that this person is my first cousin. Yeah. It was, he was my first cousin, but he's really my half nephew. That's how it went. But anyway, I was so glad to see him. We took pictures, and this boy is a splitting image of my father, just a lighter version. My father was kind of dark. Well, really, my father was dark skinned, and my mother was light skinned. But this boy, and I am so happy. My sister, I only have one sister left, and one brother. My oldest brother, he didn't get a chance to meet him, but we'll figure out a time to get together, and because I'm going to I'm gonna start calling my brother my brother. I'm gonna make him some copies of the pictures that I have of my father and his mother. So that was a real good experience. And I finally figured out how to eliminate it, because Ancestry has so many people that are thought to believe you're my third and fourth cousin. Oh, it goes pages and pages of these people. So I finally figured out how to look for people that are on my mother's side, because that's the side I don't know anything about. My grandfather, you know, we just didn't know that much about him. So hopefully I'll find somebody on my mother's side. Out of all these people, surely somebody on my mother's side is on this Ancestry.com. But this is just amazing that you could trace your roots through Ancestry.com. And for those who say that I'm an Israelite, I am not of Hebrew origin. But as one woman down the line, she may be a third or fourth cousin. She doesn't have any African blood in her. There's a lot of European and some Jewish blood. So they have a way of detecting Jewish blood. I don't know how they do it, but there are some few people on. I only went through maybe 4 pages, and I got kind of tired. But there were some people who did leave pictures along with their profile, and they look to be, well, they're not black people, because I looked up their ethnicity, and these people didn't have any African blood in them at all, no trace either. So I couldn't figure out how they could be related to me. But anyway, it's pretty interesting. Back a while ago, people had to pay like $100 or more to get this done, and they're running a special. I think till September you can get it done for $60. But I guess you could get your sisters and brothers if you don't have the money to get it done, and y'all could kind of split the fees, because it's worth it. It really is. To be sure, because, you know, they used to say mama's baby and daddy's maybe. With this, you are for sure who is in your bloodline. Now, if my half brother had not named his son after him, I wouldn't know. It's a good possibility that I wouldn't know who he was, but I remember the name, because we spent, I think, about however long it takes to get from Dallas to Phoenix, Arizona, and come back. It was a whole weekend convocation, so he may have stayed with me a week. I can't remember. But we spent time with him, long enough time to know his name, his middle name. And he did change his name to my father's last name. But he said after he graduated from high school, I believe that's how he said it, he changed it back to his mother's last name. So, but I'm just grinning from ear to ear to meet my half brother. And I don't want to run him off, you know, with details about my father. And I probably don't really want to know the details of his life. It's like you got the cake all iced and looking pretty, and the more you mess with it, the more you uh, risk a chance of messing it up. I remember one time I was making a cake. As poor as we were, I worried my mother about making cakes and cookies, and she would just let me bake a cake or let me make some cookies. I remember I was making cookies almost every day if we had the ingredients. Sometimes we didn't have the ingredients, but I love to make cakes from scratch, not from scratch, from boxes. But one time I was sitting down putting the icing on this cake, and my mother said, "Mary, that cake looks fine the way it is. Leave it alone." I just kept fumbling with it, and that I made that whole cake fall on the floor. You couldn't even pick it up, and it just was ruined. And I cried, and my mother said, "I told you to leave it alone. It was perfect like it was. So clean up the mess, and we'll make another cake when I get some more money." And I never will forget this. So I should have listened to what she said. So I'm going to follow my instinct and not bombard my brother with all too much information about the past. He did say he was going to buy my book, one of my books, because the one Going Home Another Way, he said he was going to get that one. That's the only one that would tell him about my past. The rest of it, when you get into fictions, the fiction book that I wrote, he might think I have split personality or something, because the fiction book, boy, my mind is really out there on a journey. So I'm not gonna recommend he get those fiction books, because I was reading Nobody's Here But Us about a month ago, and I just said, what in the world? Where did my mind come up with that kind of stuff? But it's a good book, but it's way out there. So, and he is a Christian, which I can respect that. But that wouldn't be the book you want to read, because it goes into a lot of voodoo and hoodoo back in the 1800s. So, but anyway, I thought I'd make this video because I said I was going to let you guys know how that ancestry DNA came out. I recommend that if you have the money, do it. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.